Welcome to Online Marketing 101. This is the first module in creating your client conversation. Step 1, creating your vision for your ideal client or client persona. So thanks for joining us for step 1 of creating your client conversation. Hopefully you've had a chance to think about your why for taking this course and why you've chosen the business you're experiencing that we mentioned in the introduction. Understanding your why will help you access the emotion you're feeling and help you understand your starting point on this journey to creating your client conversation. Today we're going to create a vision of your ideal client, and then next we'll see how much you, your service, and your marketing message are in harmony with your client's core desires. It's always helpful to remember that you get what you think about, whether you want it or not, because the law of attraction is always working, no matter if you're aware of it or not. Therefore, you're never telling the story of how it is now, but you're telling the story of the future experience that you are creating right now. Thinking about and talking about what you want is not only effective energetically, it's also good marketing. One of my biggest secrets to success is that I always talk about what I want. So what we want to do right now is tell the story of what is your ideal customer so that we can begin to attract a lot more of them. The way we attract more clients is for you to connect with them by solving their core desires, issues, or problems. In order to connect with them, we create what we call your client conversation. In marketing, as in real life, it's so much easier and more effective to talk about someone if you understand them. So there's an old joke in the real estate world that the top 3 rules of real estate are location, location, location. Well, I believe the first 3 rules of marketing are understanding your customer, your customer, your customer. In today's world of online everything, people spend a huge amount of time consuming content on their phone, on their computer, or on a host of other devices. The average attention span is now measured in seconds, and the competition for those few seconds has become infinite. Yet some content gets massive amounts of attention as going viral has become a common occurrence. Have you ever done a search for something and see at the top of Google that there are like 270 matches? Well, your question must be, how do you get your message recognized in this gigantic sea of content? There are many strategies on how you can get to the top of Google search rankings, but does content go viral because it's the top of Google search? And do your customers really buy based on keywords? Most of the marketing tactics ignore what makes a message really popular. So if you look deeply into your best customers' buying experience, you're going to see that the underlying factor that attracted them to you was a core resonance with the message that you were offering, and they identified with you. And the more important the purchase in their life, the more research and due diligence your client will tend to do in order to help convince their logical self or their boss that the purchase is right for them. But usually the decision is already made early in the process at a much deeper level based on their feelings about you, the practitioner. If you can access that level of feeling and connection, you open the floodgates to attracting a lot more clients. So to better understand this concept, I want you to think about your best or dream client. Not the one that buys the most and gives you and your company hassles and complains and beats you up on price every step of the way. But instead, think about your best client that loves your product, tells her friends about you, and is a joy to deal with. If you don't know why they love your product, ask them and try to get a deeper understanding about why they love you and your service for reasons beyond its functions. Chances are you're going to see that there's a connection on a much deeper level that they feel with you and you feel about them. They identify with something in you or your service that solves a core need in them. There's a message that resonates with them, and that's what we're trying to understand. One of the best ways to understand your client is to ask them. So we recommend a personal style interview with your best current clients as opposed to an impersonal survey. When you're talking to them, keep track of your findings and look for common phrases and particular pains that your clients experience and what people want or expect in your service. Customer interviews reveal how clients feel about you and your service. Some of the best quotes and headlines come from these conversations with your clients. In fact, this source will often be your best way to create the message that gets your future clients' attention. If you can identify that core need, you have opened the door to a whole new way of attracting new clients. So with this strategy that I'm going to show you, you're going to have the power to duplicate that relationship into a steady flow of your best clients and a whole new way to grow your business. So the best way to truly understand your client is to create what we call a client persona. This is a fictional character that represents your best client. The more detail you give that persona, the easier it will be to write a great conversation with them that resonates with them. Your client persona will also be invaluable when you create a targeted marketing campaign and use these interests to create a custom audience in Facebook. So don't shortcut this important step. To help, I've created a worksheet you can download that asks a bunch of questions that's going to help you get deeper into the vision of your ideal clients. So the action step is, what is your ideal client persona? Fill out the worksheet from the information you receive from your best clients and the vision you have for your best client. Then spend some time each day visualizing that ideal client becoming your client. Over time, you're going to be amazed at how your best clients will be attracted to you, and your client base will be formed by your vision. So that's your destination for this step, and it's an important one, so don't delay. And thanks for watching, and see you on the next one. All right, so that was all about the client persona and setting up and really visualizing your client persona. I can't tell you how much having a client persona is important because so many things go off of that. First off, it's a whole lot easier to write copy or write your marketing message to someone that you feel is real and someone that you understand and know. But also, it really helps when you're setting up your Facebook, your whole Facebook marketing, because your Facebook marketing is really based off of audiences, and you can choose audiences based on those interests. So, gone are the days that you can just send out advertising to anybody and everybody that's out there. You really have to be very specific, and the more specific you are, the more targeted you are, the more successful you're going to be, assuming that that message resonates with that target audience. So that's the whole key in Facebook advertising and really in online marketing advertising, is to have that magic combination of audience and message so that the two go together really perfectly. So, all right, TJ's back on. Yay! TJ, you just missed the video on the client persona, and you're getting video and audio. Excellent. So, and it looked like rebooting my webinar. Sometimes these webinars, they just get this, something going on where you have to just stop it, restart it again. So we did that. You can watch it in the replay, and I've actually got these videos already loaded up in the portal. Have you been to the portal yet? The portal really is going to have some great videos, going to have some really good marketing information in there. So I'm going to go ahead and play this next video. I restarted the computer. I know it always seems to take longer too when you really want to get something going. But so the next video is really, it's a short one, but it's really a powerful one, and it really helps you get that client core need. And So the kind of part one of the whole conversation about understanding your client is trying to visualize that client persona really as like a person, but then really the way that you can effectively market to that one. The first video you missed, it was the client persona. And we talked about the client persona last week, and there is a worksheet in the portal. I don't know if you've had a chance to go through that worksheet. So that whole exercise was really designed at setting up your vision of the client persona, really as like a person. It's always amazing to me that every person that has really done this, when you start looking at their client base, you start seeing how their client persona has really shaped their client base. So you did the worksheet, so that's great. So TJ and everybody else that has done the worksheet, you're going to be really much better set up for the next video, which is all about finding out your core needs or your core pain for this client persona. Some people call them avatars. I was calling them avatars for a while, but there's a movie out, Avatar, and it seemed like the avatar, was just had some baggage associated with it. People started thinking about more of an animated character, cartoon character, or movie character rather than the client persona. The client persona really kind of gives you a framework that you can fill in your own blanks. We don't want any preconceived ideas coming into your mind when you're thinking about this, because really, especially with the law of attraction, the way we believe the law of attraction is that what you think about really comes into your reality. So you want to have a real clear vision of your client persona. And one of the questions that I get asked all the time about client persona, and this is one of the things that I've had to struggle with, is that you have several different customer types or client types, and how do you accommodate that? Well, really the best way to do that is to do this exercise and really do this course based on one specific one. Use your best one. There's a whole rule called the 80-20 rule. And, it's true in nature, it's true in economics, it's true in social environments, it's true in school, it's true in sales. You'll see 80% of the sales being made by 20% of the salespeople. You'll see 80% of your business being done by 20% of your customers. In nature, there is so many 80-20 things that go on. It's crazy. So what you want to really be doing is focusing in on the business, the client persona that's going to be responsible for 80% of your business. So really pick the best one and get that one going and up and going. And then from there, then you can look at doing others. So if, your best clients, like for us, it's, I would call them mature women that are spiritually oriented, that are, have started their own business, and maybe it's a second business. But we have in the PMF world, we found out really quickly that our ideal client was a lot like my wife, and so for us doing the avatar or the client persona was really easy, because it was something, if it really resonated with my wife, Sherry, then we found out like, oh yeah, this is really going to work. And so that's kind of what we really focused in on. And if you look at the 300 or 350 practitioners that we helped start their new business, a lot of them are in that group. I mean, I would say at least 80 to 90% are in that demographic group. So the next video is going to be about really establishing and defining your client's core needs. And we've got some exercises there to help you do that. So Hopefully the video is going to play. I don't know, we're kind of being cursed here. So, all right, here it is, your core need. Welcome back to step 2 of creating your client conversation. So once you have a clear vision of your ideal client, it's the most important step to identify your client's core pain, issue, challenge, or problem. When I say pain, I'm not necessarily talking about their physical pain, as there are many different types of pain, and it's important to clearly understand your clients. Have you ever noticed that when you go into a doctor's office, the first thing they ask you is, where does it hurt? Okay, after they ask you about your insurance. You wouldn't have much confidence if you went into your doctor's office for a broken arm, and when you got in there, they immediately started trying to sell you their newest treatment for cancer. But as a practitioner, while this example may seem a bit obvious and extreme, I've seen this approach repeatedly when practitioners are marketing their service. And in marketing, you should go through the same process you would normally go through if you were consulting your client in person. So now that you have a clear vision of your client persona, it's time to clearly define the main problem, their main problem, issue, or pain that's motivating them to seek a solution with you. It's also important that while there may be a physical pain, there are much deeper psychological pains and issues that will motivate them to see you as their solution versus other modalities or other practitioners. So for example, if your client is cancer, the traditional medicine approach would be to include surgery with chemotherapy and radiation therapy, while the non-traditional approaches would go down an entirely different path that doesn't include any of those therapies. The pain is the same, the illness is the same, but the core values of the patient motivate them to take a much different approach. So it's these core values, issues, and problems that you must fully understand if you're able to tap into addressing them. Also, keep in mind that there are logical motivations, and more importantly, there are emotional ones as well. So the action step for this very short but powerful step is to write down all the client points, all the client's pain points you would experience when you're conducting your initial interview. So really think about all the pain that they have when they come in there. What are their core issues? What are their real problems? Separate them into emotional versus logical pain. And it's one thing to be aware of. If your own personal preference, if you're more of a logical person, you're going to tend to think and put more weight on logical pains. But if you're more of an emotional person, you tend to put more emphasis on the emotional. So try to suspend your judgments and be as empathic as possible. I know many of you are very empathic. But list the physical, emotional, and spiritual issues, problems, and pains your best clients have at the beginning of your treatment. So once you have that list, try to group them into relevant or related clusters and see if you can create a more general group. This may be really interesting to observe because you'll start to see patterns. It's these patterns that we're looking for. So I want you to rank them from 1 to 10 with the pains that your clients believe are the most important. Not what you believe, but what your clients believe are the most important. And then once you have this list, rewrite it with the most important at the top, and then the pains descending to the least important. So this list is going to be a really valuable tool to use when we're creating your client conversation, as then we're going to match your solution to these pain points and make sure we're addressing them in our marketing message. So that's it for this step. It's a short one, but it will be the foundation for your future steps. So don't shortcut it. You'll hear me talk all the time about your customers' pain points and if we're addressing them properly and if we're considering them. So really spend some time on this one, and this one is going to be a building step for all the rest of them. So good luck with that, and thanks for watching. See you on the next one.
All right. So that one is all about the defining your client's pain points, your client's core needs, and just can't stress enough how important that is, because really what that does is it provides the main thing that you are going to be marketing to, and you're going to find out that what most people do is that they start with their product or their service, and they start talking about all the great things that their product or service does, and they completely ignore what it is that the client is looking for. So the way we started this is we first started about your intentions and what your why is for your business and what your why is for taking this course. So the focus was really on you and what your intentions are. And now we're really focusing in on your client and what their intentions are and what they are really wanting to have solved. With the law of attraction, you're going to find that energetically, both your intentions and their intentions need to harmonize and come together in order for there to be a really good relationship. And if they're not, well, first of all, you usually don't get together. But if they're not really in harmonized, then you tend to have more conflict. And so then next week, what we're going to add on to is how your relationship fits in the overall market. Because what is the first thing that the client does is, most marketing activities, they focus in on like finding the right keywords and, getting to the top of Google search rankings and doing all these activities that for the product itself. But that's not how people go and buy stuff anymore. They buy stuff based on, and it's getting more and more like this because more and more people are doing voice searches. So more and more people are saying, how do I do this? How do I, to give you an example, I have a bunch of leaves out in my yard, and I'm really concerned about what my main thing is. I want to go out and get all my leaves out of my yard without hurting my back. So that is my focus. I'm kind of thinking about as a product, I'm like, well, I don't want to buy rakes, or, is there some machine out there? I had no idea that there's this great big vacuum they can put on the back of your tractor and go drive around and vacuum all your leaves up. And, I had no idea what the name of it is. I had no idea what the product was. All I was, I'm searching on how do I get the leaves out of my yard, not on a specific product. Well, if you're marketing, based on a specific product, like TJ, you have transcranial, I'm still don't even know the name of the therapy, and I really don't even know exactly what it does, but I'm sure that it relieves pain in some way. So what you need to do is you need to find out really what is it that they're, like I was saying in the thing, what is it that they are really searching on as far as a solution goes. And then you want to provide really valuable, relevant information on that solution. And the way that we're going to structure our whole client conversation is that your buyer has different levels of intentions as they go through the buying path. They first start out with really kind of broad intentions. They start out with if they were keywords, it's like, how do I do this? What do I do if I have, a pain in my neck, which right now I really do have a pain in my neck because I've been doing these videos. So how do I get rid of a pain in my neck? And they start searching on possible solutions, and what they're looking for, like Google did a search or did a survey and found out that it was either 62 or 68% of the people that surveyed, they made their buying decisions based on receiving relevant information from solution providers without any regard of who they've used in the past. So they really base their whole buying decision on getting relevant information that help them solve their problem. So the first buying intention is really researching the problem. And really, for a lot of people, it's really trying to find out that there is a problem out there that other people know about. And then they really define the problem. Then the next intention that they go to is they go to, okay, who are the people that are providing solutions to this problem? And then they start really looking at all the different solutions that relate to this problem. Well, if you can get in on that first stage and start giving them information while they're researching the problem, you can provide them really great information that is not, they don't want salesy information yet. They just want more information. Like, so TJ, yours is craniosacral, visceral manipulation, and lymphatic drainage. That is great for what it is, but saying that, I have no idea what it does. And as a consumer, as a potential client, what is it that does? Like, what is the thing that solves? You know, so that's what we're trying to uncover right now. So you just told me what it is. And I'm telling you that 99% of the people in the very beginning phases of the search process, they don't care what that is. They don't even understand what those words mean. So it's working with the central nervous system, collective tissue restrictions, and fluid flow. Okay, that's still what it does. That doesn't give me an idea of how does that help me? What is the condition that person would have that would want to have their central nervous system and connective tissue restrictions and fluid flow? So you see how you're starting out way at the product side of it as the features side of it, and I'm trying to get you to come way over to the other side of it and think about it from the client's perspective of like, oh, I've really got a sore back. And what is it that, like, okay, central nervous system, what is it about the central nervous system? It leads for migraines, neck aches, back aches, scar tissue restrictions. Now you're getting closer. You're getting closer. So relieves migraines. All right. So now you're really talking about a condition. Now this is something that, yeah. So what would they be searching on? How to relieve migraines. They're not going to be searching on, and it helps with concussions. Okay. So what you're really talking about are all kinds of brain issues. So you've just listed a couple different things. What you need to do in order for us to get through this exercise is really pick the best one of those. Like, migraines is a severe problem. What people with that migraines, if you can tell someone you can fix their migraines without any drugs, oh my God, that's a really big benefit. So brain and whole body issues. So, but issues, what kind of issues? This is a really good conversation, TJ. I wish we were having it like in person. But what kind of issues? This is what we're really trying to get at. So what is it that there is their core pain that is causing them to seek out a practitioner? Yes, it can be done. So they're not going to get to that point where they're going and talking about the craniosacral, visceral manipulation, and lymphatic drainage until they're way down the road. So this is the process. They're saying, like, God, I've got a migraine. I got terrible headaches. I get this migraine thing. I got to get this under control. You know, so they start searching, well, you know, how do you solve a migraine? And, you know, up comes all the drug things. Oh, no, I don't want to be taking drugs for the rest of my life. No, I just don't want that. I don't want that. So what is other solutions that do not involve drugs, and then a bunch of other stuff will come up. This is where you want to enter the conversation, where they're doing that initial search, and then you can be telling them, hey, there's a bunch of non-medical ways that people can solve your migraines and your nerve pain. Okay, so what you're talking about there, now you're really starting to get that incontinence. So you're starting to talk about all the different symptoms that you can treat. So, and you're getting closer, So what I want you to do is really start picking out some of these, maybe, the one or two most popular ones. If you look at your practice, what are the ones that amount for most of your practice? There's got to be some. There's going to be some that are really much more prevalent than others, and something that you can really identify with as far as as an audience. And one of the tools that we're going to give you is really the keyword search, and the importance of that is that you can go on and you can see, well, how many people are searching for drug-free migraine relief rather than post-op restrictions or bowel issues or headaches. And you'll see there's a huge difference. So what you want to do is you want to really, or hand pain or hand restrictions. So, but yes, now you're getting it. They come to you because they are in pain. And what do? You offer, I'm assuming, drug-free pain relief. So the drug-free pain relief is the thing that you want to be talking about in the front end of the conversation. Then as they get more and more interested in this and they just start saying, hey, there really is an option out there for drug-free pain relief for my condition. Now they really want to get more deeper into exactly what it is that you do. Oh, I do transcranial thing, but that still doesn't tell them anything. So you really want to tell them exactly what the transcranial thing does to their body that helps them with the transition. So in other words, what is the transition that they're going to make? They don't care what it does. They want the results. So you need to start really looking at what are the results. How do you live your life that pain-free and drug-free? Then now you're starting to paint a picture of this. And then once they get into that, now they're saying, okay, yeah, this is what I really want. I want to live pain-free. I want to live drug-free. And if I could just get this thing. So yeah, this transcranial thing, it sounds like this is what I'm really after. Now, who in this transcranial thing is the best at it? And so now you're into the third intention, and that's really into their engagement mode of they're looking to engage somebody that does, this one thing. So you've gone from, helping them identify the problem. Oh, I've got this really bad headache. Oh, it's a migraine headache. There's a solution out there, but that solution doesn't include, there are drugs, but I'm looking for another solution that doesn't include drugs. Oh, here's a bunch of solutions that don't include drugs. Oh, and one of them is called transcranial stimulation. And, okay, so now I really understand more about how cranial sacral cranial sacrum, and your head and your butt. Does that mean it works on your head and your butt? So now they start getting an idea of what it's called and what it does. And then this is how you do it. And then this is why you're the best. So those are the phases that we're going to go through. And those are the phases that you're going to take them through on your Welcome Series email. But first off, we need you to get to understand, like we've been doing, what it is that is their true pain, and what are the motivation things that are going to drive them to you rather than, oh, I'm just going to go take a bunch of drugs. So I don't know, is that making sense? There's always a bit of a delay. It's called craniosacral. Craniosacral. Yeah, and so yeah, I'm saying that's a yes. Okay, good. All right, that's good. So that is really the whole messaging sequence that we're going to go through, and we're trying to take it step by step. And the steps that I'm feeding you kind of sound, that when they're taking one at a time, they kind of, sometimes people think that they're really kind of isolated and arbitrary, but you'll see how that when you get to the end of it, they'll all tie together, and you will really come up with, if you can really put this together, you will see that you are way ahead of 99% of the people that are out there, because everybody else is talking about craniosacral therapies, and you're talking about relieving pain. I'll give you another example. So this is what we were doing when we got involved with PEMF. And we were a practitioner, and I was treating horses and people. I treated myself. It really got rid of my back pain. And I had been Xerox sequence pain points, then detail what pain, then modalities that deliver pain relief, correct. So what you really need to concern about is really trying to get an idea of what their pain is. Forget about what you're doing right now. Let's put yourself right in their shoes. And you're saying, what is it that what are their core pains? What are their core issues? What are their core challenges? And try to put as many words around that as you possibly can. When you step into their shoes and start identifying the things that they're looking for, like in my leaf example, I'm looking to get leaves out of my yard. I'm looking at not raking leaves. I hate raking leaves because it really hurts my back. So I'm looking at, ways to get leaves out of my yard. I'm looking at, I don't want to burn the leaves in my yard. I don't want to rake the leaves in my yard. So these are all things that I don't want to do. And so someone that has a migraine, they're kind of doing the same thing. Or hand problems. I've got this really bad hand problem and I just don't even know what it is. So then they start, searching on things. People nowadays, if they want to know how to do something, they search on it and they search in Google. What you need to do is you need to find out how they're searching and then how you can jump into that conversation and provide them with information that is going to shape the conversation and send it in your direction. Okay? So yeah, they first start out with the pain points and then they find a solution that fits with their needs, both their mental needs, their physical needs, but also from their emotional needs of like, I just really want to get rid of my migraine headache, but I don't want to be taking drugs. So, and then, and even into spiritual needs, if there's a spiritual component to that. I really want to do something that is much more energetic. So that's the middle, they identify there is a problem. Oh, now there is a solution. That solution then can be shaped in the form that I want so it really fits my core needs. And then exactly what does that solution do? and then who does that solution and who does that the best. So that's the process that most buyers go down when they're searching for a solution. And nowadays, people do that online. I mean, it used to be people did it by word of mouth or referrals or whatever, but nowadays they do that online. So our whole goal is to find out a way for you to jump into that conversation, hopefully in the beginning phase, where you can shape that conversation, establish yourself as the authority for that person, and develop a relationship with them, developing on some key mental triggers. Like there's this mental trigger called the reciprocity. It's also an energetic or a cosmic law. And a cosmic law of attraction is one of those cosmic laws, okay? Like the law of attraction is a cosmic law. It says that like attracts like. So the thoughts that I send out will bring back thoughts that are like that. But there's also a law of reciprocity. And this is one of those laws that really, people don't talk about nearly as much as law of attraction, but it's just as powerful. And that's you get what you give. And so if you're giving free advice and good advice that helps people feel obligated to you, and they tend to give back to you in the same manner. Now, there's not always people aren't always giving back in equal proportions, but you'll find overall that what you're giving is what you're getting. And that's the law of reciprocity. And so what our marketing philosophy is based on is that you start out by giving a lots of free content that really helps people that are in your area of expertise. And so if you can start showing them, hey, there really is a solution that's out there that can help you and that can satisfy some of your core emotional and spiritual needs, they will then start to feel obligated to use you as the service provider, providing that you can solve their needs and that you're checking the other boxes as well. So reciprocity, yeah, you get what you give. And it's funny. This is one of the more lesser known cosmic laws of the universe. But it is in the Course of Miracles. It has a big part in the Course of Miracles, and it is one of those cosmic laws. So, all right. So TJ, we've kind of really gone through the whole philosophy of this marketing message, and I was telling you about I kind of got off track on my PEMF thing, but just to show you the differences between selling a product or a features versus the benefits. So when we started selling PEMF machines, everybody that was selling PEMF machines they were selling the machine. Here's the machine. It has, it has this many Gauss. It has this many frequency. Everyone want to know, what's the frequency? What's the wavelength? What's the intensity? What are the specifications on that? And, the reality of it was that everybody was making up the specifications. There's no standardized specifications for PEMF machines. So everybody was just completely making up. It was all a complete lie. But I had always, and I sold copiers for Xerox. And I was actually turned out that for over a couple of years, I was the #1 Xerox salesman in North America, because I quickly figured out that nobody cared about the machine. All they cared about was they pushed the button and it would make copies, and then, okay, how much does that copy cost me? And is this machine going to break down? If it breaks down, how are you going to fix it? So when I started selling PMF machines, I'm like, this is the same thing. Nobody cares about the stupid machine. And what they cared about was what it did. And for me, what it did is it relieved my back pain. But for a big percentage of the people that we were talking to, what they wanted, what their core interest was, they were dreaming of a career with a horse. They wanted to be with horses. They didn't care anything about the machine. They didn't even care about PMF at all. All they wanted to know was, oh, I can spend my life with horses instead of in this cubicle. I can get out of my mining job. I mean, we literally had people that were working in mines in Australia, in underground in mines, and we had Craig LaHoy. He got fired from his job and worked in a cubicle for 13 years. He's like, I don't want to go back to a cubicle. We had Kaylee Mona up in online. She's like, I want to get out of my cubicle. How do I do this? I love being with horses. I want to be with horses. And so we found that using PMF we found that by being a practitioner using PMF treating horses, you actually could make a career out of this. So our whole campaign was dreaming of a career with horses. And we taught people how to become a therapist and go out and make a living helping horses feel better. And I used to train, I know several of the horsey people, Yeah. And so what do horsey people want? They want to be with horses. So when we started selling the dreaming of a career with horses, we literally sold more machines in a year. Actually, we sold more machines in a month than the entire industry, the entire PMF industry sold in a year. And so we did that by focusing in on the dream, not the machine. And so that's what I want you to do is I want you to focus in on what it does to the people. I'm out of pain for the first time in my life. Oh my God, it feels so good. That's what we want. Not I do transcranial therapy and I do this and this and this and this and then you feel better. We're after the feel better. So that's a little story on go back to that case study. So when we became so successful that Life Pulse then became more successful than the machine that we were selling, Pulse Centers, the owner of Pulse Centers was like, no, you guys are become more popular than I am. I don't want that. And I'm going to stop the marketing that you guys are doing. And I want to go back to the selling the machine. So we said, okay, for the next 6 months, well, you go do your way, I'll do my way, and we'll see what happens. And after 6 months, their way of selling the machine sold 3 machines. I got leads that sold 3 machines. And they had way more marketing. They had vice president of marketing. They had all the sophisticated tools and people and a staff, and they had a whole marketing department. They hired professional Facebook marketing, pay-per-click marketing. They had all kinds of very professional people all do that. They sold 3 machines. I sold 105, doing it our way. And so the difference is literally like if you want to concentrate on the machine, you're going to sell about 5% of what you could be selling. So your Facebook tag is feels good to feel good. That's awesome. I love that. So we're going to build on that. That's really good. All right. So I think this is when my wife would be going like, okay, John, you beat this dead horse to enough. Time to move on. So now we're going to switch. We're going to switch our tact, and we're going to start talking more about the infrastructure. How do we build this system in order to put our machine on it? Okay. So I'm going to play the video on setting up your Google Drive and setting up your Google Sheets. And I hope to God it plays. Here we go.
Hey, John Golitz here with a quick video on how to set up your Google Drive and how to set up your CRM list. All right, so let's take a look. Here we are. I've opened up my Google Chrome browser, and I need to switch accounts. I don't know if you have different accounts, but I need to go on to Samantha's account. And so you just go over here and click here, and then click on the right account, and that makes sure you're in the account that has all the right sections and stuff in there. And then you want to go and click on this little checkerboard thing, Google Apps, and go down to Google Drive. Now these things we've moved around a little bit so that they're in the right order. And so you can kind of move them around. I like to put them in the right order so that I put the things that are up here that I use the most. So anyway, we're in my drive right now, and we created a separate folder so that we can put all of the things that are related to the CRM or the Customer Relationship Manager into one file. I call that the Client Attraction System. So here along the top here are files that you just accessed the most. Here's a nice little tutorial that you can use. But when you go into Google Drive, the first thing is going to be, this is all going to be blank. This will be here. This we've already created. We created this folder. How do you create the folder? You go up here and click New, and then you click on this little button here. So this is Folder, and the little plus means you want to do a new one. If you wanted to upload a folder, say from your computer, you can upload your folder from here. And if you want to open up any kind of other docs. So here are Google Docs. This is a Google Word document. Google Sheets is like the Google Spreadsheet. Google Slides is like the Google PowerPoint. And then there's all kinds of more applications that you have. Google Forms is a really great application that helps you create surveys and tests and that kind of stuff. So our test will be on this Google form, and I'm going to be sending you a Google form for you to fill out that will put all of your information on there, like your Gmail email address and your website URL and your Facebook URL. So we have it all into one place. And then I'm going to actually share that folder with you. So you'll get a chance at sharing folders, which is a really good thing to do. But right now what we're going to do is we're just going to go and open up Google Sheets, and it would be a blank sheet, except I've already got it open. And so I'll just click on the Google Sheets, and you will see. So the first thing that we did is that, oh, it's still loading. So the first thing that we did is that we renamed this. And this Google Sheet we're going to call the CRM list. And CRM, of course, stands for Customer Relationship Management. And the great thing about the whole Google platform is that all of these documents are like automatically saving all the time. So you really don't have to worry about losing anything. And if you have internet like we do, you'll be going along, created something that's just beautiful, and then, oops, the internet goes off and you got to delete it. Well, you don't have to worry about that with Google Docs. And so the first thing that we did was we put the name in and named the Google Sheet. Then we went down here and created the list, or this is what the sheet name is, and we're calling that the master list. You can add additional sheets, like say for example you wanted to segregate your list and you wanted to have one sheet be just prospects and one sheet be clients. So the way you add a sheet is you just click on this little button, little plus sign. See how we just added another sheet? And we can just call this one, you double click on that and then delete that, and we'll call this clients. And then go over here and double click on that one and delete what's in there and call this one prospects. But today we're just going to be concerned about the master list. So you double click on that, brings you back to this. And we want to, first thing we want to do on this to get it all ready to have prospects put in here is that we want to create a header. And the header is so that not only we know where to put everything, but also when we start automating, this is where the automation goes to find the fields that they'll automatically fill in. Now, this may seem a little bit redundant in having the name and then the first name and the last name, but you'll find that there are some sources of information where the name, first and last name are all lumped in together, which case you would put it here. But don't worry, I have a little bit of spreadsheet magic and a formula that will automatically separate out these two. And like LinkedIn, I think LinkedIn has the names all lumped in together. So what we really need to start things off is we need the name, the first name, the last name, the email, and then you might want to add the date or when the contact was created or entered in your spreadsheet, and then the status. And the status would be like client or prospect. And then you can then start segregating this list down the road. The way that you do that is you just really just click on the column, and then you go over to maybe data. Oh yes, data. And then you can just sort it. And it sorts very easily. You just sort it from A to Z or Z to A. And that's a great way to separate out or segregate out your list. So that's what we need to do today. From here, you can start manually inputting clients and prospects onto your list. And in the next videos, I'm going to show you how you can actually upload all your contacts onto a spreadsheet from your Outlook, from your phone, from LinkedIn, and we're going to show you how you can upload your contacts from other Gmail or Google systems. So that's it for now. We've shown you how you can establish your Google Drive and create your Google Sheets and your first CRM list. And we look forward to talking to you in our next one. Thanks a lot.
We'll talk. I don't want to interrupt anybody.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and try to sign on.
Okay, thanks, John.
Okay. All right. Veronica was trying to get on to the webinar, and she's having a little technical problems. All right, so that video was really showing you the basics of setting up your Google Drive and setting up your and setting up your spreadsheet. Let's see what your questions are, TJ. You created a CRM list by going to Google Docs, Sheets, yes. And then can I put that into Drive from Sheets? Well, what you want to do is you really want to access the Sheets from your Drive as opposed to opening up Sheets. I think you can go back and upload it into your Drive if you set up your Sheets, but the best way to do it is really start out in your Google Drive. And when you're doing that, make sure you're on your account that for the class. All right, and then let's see what other question is. Hopefully this is in the portal because I need to stop video and watch it again, sometimes rewind. I only put first name and then last name, email. Yeah, so you bring up a really good point. You're like my straight person. You're like feeding me all these good points. What I suggest you do this, and the way that you do this course and this how-to, and we're going to be going in through a whole series of how-to videos. So the best way to do it is watch it, and this is why we set it up in the portal so that you can have the individual things. Like this one video is in the video, or in the portal, and it's just the video. You don't have to go searching all the way through our webinar in order to find it. It's going to be its own little video. But watch it all the way through. Get an idea of what we're going to do all the way through. Then go back and play it one step at a time. So when it says, okay, open up Google Drive. So pause it, go and open up Google Drive on your thing. Then let it go. Okay, open up, this Google Sheet. Pause it, go and open up the Google Sheet. So do one step at a time, pause it, and then go and do it. That way, what happens to me is that I watch it and I go, oh, okay, yeah. And I try to take like 2 or 3 steps. I'll watch 2 or 3 steps, and then I'll forget that middle step. So I'll start doing it, and I'm like, oh yeah, now what was next? So then I'll go back and see it like, oh yeah, okay, oh, I forgot that one step. Okay, so you really want, this is all sequential stuff. So you want to be doing it one step at a time. So that's absolutely the best and fastest way to do it, is to watch it all the way through, then go back and watch it in steps. And watch a little bit, pause the video, do it on your computer, pause, and then play it again, play the next step, pause it, and do it like that way. Let's see. And then what email do I use to ask you additional questions as I go back and set up my CRM list according to what I'm showing? Yeah. Use the info at Drugless Practitioner academy.com. So info at Drugless, I'll write it down here. And excuse my slow typing. Yeah, I can even put it in my sticky. I'll put it in the sticky message. How about that? Hopefully I didn't spell it wrong. I'm not the best typer. All right, there it is. So what email do I use? All right, to ask you. Okay, I've got that. And from the phone too. Yeah, the headings that we have on there, that is designed specifically for the automation that we're going to use. So just to give you an overview of this whole process is that first, so the next week what we're going to do is we're going to set up what's called GMass. This is their mass mailing capabilities. This will give you the automated thing. So when a new contact comes onto your Google spreadsheet, your Google Sheets, they will automatically be able to get an email. And then we're going to set up a 4 email series, what I call the welcome series. And it'll take people through that process that we talked about of 4 different emails so that they will know who you are, what you do, why you do it, and why you're the best, and then how to contact you. So we'll set up that email and then the automated email, and then we will set up a lead capture system from your Facebook page and from your website. So if they want more information, they will then email you. The email will then come into Google Mail, Gmail, and when it does that, the automated thing automatically adds it to your sheets, and then GMass will automatically send them out for emails. So when we're all said and done, you're going to have a system that someone will go onto your website or onto your Facebook page, and they will say, hey, I would like more information on this. And they send you an email. That email is recorded into your Gmail account, and then they automatically get their 4 emails. So you're going to want to keep this account specifically for this purpose. But in the meantime, the Gmail accounts, Google Mail accounts, they kind of go through this break-in period. So you can't just start mass mailing tons of emails out of your Gmail account, or you're going to get it will get shut down. They'll throttle your emails. They require a break-in period, and so I want you to start doing emails out of this, and try doing at least 10 emails or more a day, and try to generate. So before we get all this hooked up, you want to kind of break in your Gmail account and start emailing people. Like you have MailChimp, and right now that's a really great thing. We could set this up in MailChimp, but I can tell you that one of the major benefits on doing this in the Google system is it satisfies one of the major Achilles heels of email marketing, and that's deliverability. The biggest email platform is Gmail, and Google is one of the biggest server platforms that there is, and they're the hardest people to get through. But if you have a Google system, Gmail, mailing through to another Google system, the deliverability is so much easier. So we found that taking cold traffic, which is what you're really going to be dealing with. This is really going to be from cold traffic. In other words, people that you've never emailed before. Typically what happens is that there's a really high level of deliverability issues with all the other email. And the more, like if your MailChimp account has a lot of traffic that says unsubscribes or does not get delivered, or people that tag it as spam, the more that happens, the more it will get tagged as spam, the harder it will be for it to get delivered to the inbox. And it's not just for your account, it's for everybody that is on that service. So the email servers now, they take all of the traffic that comes from that source and they kind of lump it all in together. So if you have, like Infusionsoft, we had a great email campaign going from Infusionsoft, but we had a horrible time getting things delivered. Even if we put stuff in your, one of the best ways to get deliverability into your inbox is to take the email from somebody and put it into your address book and then reply to that person. And that should say to your email service, hey, this is a trusted person. I know this person. Don't put it into my spam. But even with Infusionsoft, because there was so much emails that were going undelivered and so many emails that were getting tagged as spam or being unsubscribed to, the overall effectiveness, overall deliverability was very poor. I switched to the cartridge system, and it was a brand new system, and they really safeguarded. They really tried to make sure that everybody that was using that system had received what's called a verification of their emails. In other words, the person who was requesting the email had verified that they wanted that email. And that really helps a lot in getting the deliverability up. But Gmail, just because it's going from Gmail to Gmail, it has a built-in deliverability that is way off the charts compared to everything else that's out there. So for going for cold traffic, which is emails that you're emailing for the very first couple of times, this really has a built-in advantage. So will your new account affect my Google reviews? I'm not sure what you mean by Google reviews. Yeah, and this is going to be a really good thing to keep your Google account for this purpose, because what you're going to find is that maybe this may not be the final place for your entire email funnel, but it's certainly an absolute great front end. And if you want to go to a more sophisticated, more robust, with a much higher volume, then you really need to move to a system like Kartra. Kartra is MailChimp, but it's MailChimp plus the website, the landing pages, the CRM, the whole thing. It has all of those all built in together. And like I said, the deliverability is like way much better than all these others. But using this program, like I use this program to feed my Kartra. So I'll get cold traffic that will come in, and they'll get my 4 emails, and we can do things with GMass that I'll go into a little bit later on that is really hard to do on all these other things, like send people emails until they open. So you're talking about the reviews that people give you on Google. No, this doesn't have anything. It has no effect on that, but that actually is bringing up another really good idea that I've been wanting to bring into this conversation, and that's on your Google. There is an app called Google Business, and you should absolutely fill that out for your business, because one of the biggest things that you want to do, and this is the reason why most people use Google AdWords, is they want to be, if someone searches for your business, you absolutely want to get to the top of Google page on your business. So if they search for, Drugless Practitioner Academy, for example, I want to be at the very top of that search. Well, if you go and fill out the thing for Google Business, and it's basically a free ad for your business, you will be at the very top, and you have a big heading on there that shows all about your business, and it's free. And they'll even actually give you some credits toward Google AdWords, which we can help you with hopefully at the end of the course. But that is a great little free thing that everybody should do. I mean, I have it for Golitz Consulting. I have it for Drugless Practitioner Academy. It does help you once you get into the Google system. It does help you with things like Google reviews. It legitimizes your business. They'll ask to verify your email address. They'll verify your phone number and your physical address. And once you get all those verified, you're way farther ahead in the Google world. All right. Let's see. It's just for emails. Won't interact with the website, with the exception of lead capture page. Correct. Yeah. This won't interfere with your Google views. Now, the one thing that you should be aware of in the Google world is that Google Plus is going away. That was another way to really get to the top and get into. There's a possibility I already did it when I had my Google Plus created. Possibly, but you really should go back on that. When you open up your Google browser, your Google Chrome browser, you go to that little checkerboard thing up at the top. You'll see the blue app that's called Google Business. Click on that. Yeah, and you're aware that Google Plus is going away. Okay, good. Because the Google Plus was a good way to get to the top of and get right into the Google searches without doing any AdWords. But now that's going away, so there'll be other things. From what I've heard, is it's actually going to come back in a different form. So, and when it comes back, then we'll definitely want to use that. But the Google platform is a really great platform. And they're just such a gigantic monster in the space that you really should use their system in order to where it fits best. And from my experience, where it fits best is in the front end of your funnel. And for some people, that's all that they really need. I mean, they just want to be able to, and that's what this course is really all about. It's about establishing your foundation for your online marketing. And that foundation really is having a list, having an automated response to people that are inquiring, and having that all your contacts and all of your documents and everything being secure and backed up and accessible from all your different devices, from your phone to your laptop to your desktop. If you have a tablet, being able to access all of those devices and have it all backed up into a central source that's secure. So you open the tab, didn't see a blue thing you were mentioning. It's called Google Business. I wonder if I can share my screen. Okay, I'm going to try to turn on my screen share. This is going to be a little experiment because I don't think I've ever done this before, but we're going to try to do this. Okay. Over jam speed sharing. Whoa. Okay, hopefully you can see this. So it's up here, this right here, and it says My Business. So this is what you want to open right there. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. I don't know. Could you see that when I open it up? Because I couldn't see my screen anymore. But yeah, so it's called My Business. You just click on that and you answer all the questions, fill out all the information, and then go back and it might take a little bit. And sometimes they ask you to verify. It depends on how much you've been around, but and how far into this Google system that you are. But yeah, once you get that up, you go back in and search your business, and you'll be, oh, there it is, right there. So that's it. It's a really good thing. Now, what we'll do is we'll be able to take that. So when people go on that and they request more information, you have you don't have it. Scroll down a ways, and if you still isn't on that first page, scroll down, and it'll say like more. Hold on. Yeah, if you scroll down, it will say more. Click on the more. Yeah, so scroll down, click on more. If there's a chance you can search for it, just type in My Business. I did scroll. You don't have Google Plus. Oh, you have Google Plus. Are you on Google Chrome? Is your browser Google Chrome? Well, we might have to. What we can do is we might have to get on a Zoom meeting, and I'll take you through it on a Zoom meeting. That way we can share our screens, and we can. Yes, it's Google Chrome. Okay, so you're clicking on that app thing where you're seeing YouTube and Gmail and all those other little apps, and then scroll down and see My Business. You may have to search for it or add it. On the app thing, have a bunch of stuff, but not My Business. That's strange. I wonder if you need to make the newest thing. I'll bet you actually just need to search. Can you find the if you scroll down there, can you find the little button that says More? And then you click on the More, and you just keep scrolling down, and you'll eventually get to the point where it comes to the whole page, and you'll be able to see through all kinds of different apps. if you go back into the setting up your Google account video, I think I go through that with you on that. If you really need some one-on-one thing, we can do a Zoom meeting, and we'll share your screen, and we'll find that sucker for you, so get you set up on that. In the meantime, I'm going to send out to you guys your Google my Google form, and that is going to show. I'm going to ask you all the questions on your website and your Facebook page, and how many contacts you have, and where all those contacts are, so we can round them all up, put them on your list. But in the meantime, so I want you to get your Google account up, get your Gmail going, start sending emails in Gmail. Send one to me at info@druglesspractitioneracademy.com, and then I'll reply to you. Put me in your address book, and then also I want you to get your Google spreadsheet done, because next week you need to have that spreadsheet before we can get the automation done. One of the things that they're going to ask you is, what does the automation tie into? And you have to have that Google sheet already created. And the more you're familiar with that, I would really start using the Google platform as much as you can. Well, now that I'm using it, I find that it's so much more secure and robust, and more, and still can't find it. Oh boy, TJ. Well, we might just have to do a Zoom meeting and share your screen so we can look for it. The one thing you might want to try is updating your browser to see if you have the most updated Google Chrome browsers. It might be an old browser for whatever reason, and it may be maybe just not there. And just as a general rule of thumb, it is always good to kind of update your tools, because they have known fixes that are in there. As soon as they find stuff that's wrong with them, they'll issue a fix, and those are always available on the next generation of technology. So, it's amazing to see how the technology, it constantly is evolving, and you need to stay on the new versions of that. How do I know? Now add it to that list. I'm going to do the screen share again, but mine's already there though. That's the problem. Turn screen share on. All right. So if you go down and click more, so there it is in. I know a much better way to do that. Turn screen share off. Just search, TJ. So search Google My Business. Just search for Google My Business, and you'll find it that way. The other way that you probably can go about it is actually if you open up your account. If you go up in the upper right hand thing and you click on the little picture thing, and it'll go to the account. Open up that account. You can probably find it in that as well. Windows says manage now. Manage now. I'm not really sure. I have to look at that. Well, anyway, let's see. Yeah. I think that's the way to do it. Is find go to your Google account. and home. All right, yeah, play around with it. See what you can do, and yeah, let me know if I can help you. So anyway, we're kind of come to the end of the session, and are there any other questions that you got? It's too bad we Veronica couldn't get on here. Yep, we can definitely screen share, and that way you can see what I'm looking at, and I'll see what you're looking at, and we can get to the bottom of it real quick. Because these are things that you absolutely want to get set up. If you get them set up, it'll make your life so much easier. So, and then these are great tools, especially free tools. I love free and easy. So that's one of the things I've been searching for is that, how do we use the best thing? I actually, in order to find really, it's so funny when you go on a journey and you go search, and you come back to where you started. But that's exactly what happened is that I've always been more of a Microsoft person, and I kind of resisted the whole Google thing because they were so big, and I just really wanted to do something else. But I searched and searched and searched. I literally have a stack about this thick of stuff that I search for about CRMs and automating email platforms. And like I said, I've had Infusionsoft. I've tried HubSpot. I've tried ActiveContact. I've tried MailChimp. I've tried Kartra. Absolutely love Kartra. Kartra for the all-in-one is the cheapest and absolute best that's out there. Way better than Infusionsoft and all the tried ClickFunnels, and so I've really tried a whole bunch of different platforms. And what I've determined is that if you're going to spend a little money, the Kartra system is the best way to go. But you definitely have to know what you're doing, and it does cost money for free, and especially for the front end of your funnel where you're dealing with cold traffic. Google is by far better than everything else out there, by like head and shoulders above everything else that's out there, and it's free. Now, to take your Google account, and if you want to start really sending more emails and you want a little bit more functionality, then you go to the G Suites, and I think it's $6 a month. And you can have a whole team on there for $12 a month. So that's your Google account, but in the G Suites format. It's basically the same thing, but you do get a little bit more robustness. But I mean, you're talking about $6 a month, and then there are add-ons that you can add onto your G Suites that your Google Mail that are a couple bucks a month, up to $10 a month. But for Google and less than $20 a month, you're way better off than everything else that's out there. So well, TJ, I'm glad you're finding this helpful, and I'm really glad you're with us, and I'm excited to learn more about what you do. And because I know my wife and I were looking at the web page of the cranial sacral people and all that different practitioner, that different modality, and wow, there's a lot out there. So a lot of people out there, and I think those people will also be really able to be helped with getting their online marketing foundation down too. So we're excited to have you, and this is going to be a fun course. We're just in the beginning things. This is very much like you gotta walk really slowly, but as we go through it, as you develop your message and find your voice and understand what your client's main pain is, you'll find it so much easier to write marketing once you come from that perspective, and so much more effective. And then once you establish your foundation of having your list and having everything all in one central location and being able to access everything. Then going to that next step of automating it is way easier. Way easier. Because you already have everything all put together. When you try to go, and this is the problem that most people have, is that they see more advanced marketers doing all these things like Facebook advertising, like doing AdWords, like, blogging, having a great website, doing SEO, search engine optimization, in order to drive traffic to their website. You really can't do all those things unless you have your basic foundation set. And there is absolutely any experienced marketer will always tell you the number one asset in their arsenal is their list. And anybody that doesn't tell you that really just, doesn't know what they're doing, because their list is their main asset. Whenever you always go back to your list, and that list is one thing that you will own that they can't take away from you. If you go and base your business on search engine optimization, in other words, getting to the top of Google rankings, having your website and doing all this content and everything, driving everybody to your website based on search engine optimization, Google changes their algorithm at least 20 times a year. They have major revisions all the time. So anytime you can go along, they'll make a major change and also go from getting in the top spots to all of a sudden being in the second page. And it can take you months, or they can flag your account for whatever reason. If you go doing AdWords, same thing. They can all of a sudden, we're going to change things. And boom, your whole apple cart is all upside down. And then you go from getting all this traffic to no traffic. And you didn't do anything differently. So, but you have a list, you can always email your list. And if you have a relationship with your list, that is gold. And it will always be gold. You'll never be able to take it away from you. So, and that's what this whole thing is based on. So, so we're kind of at the end of this, and thank you very much. Can you get emails from Facebook? Yes. The easiest way to do that, we're going to show you. If you go to your Facebook business page, there's a little button there. We'll turn that little button right at the top of your Facebook business page into a request for more information. That will send you an email. That email will go into your Gmail. That Gmail will automatically, because the automation that we have with Zapier will automatically add it to your Google Sheets, and then the Google Sheets, the GMass will automatically send them out for emails, or however many you want. That's built into the course. And then there are Facebook ads, Facebook posts, and then that are free. You do posts in your Facebook thing that say, hey, if you want more information, email me at this email. Then you can also have a link that they can click on, and that will go into your funnel. So, and then there's boosted posts, and then there are Facebook ads. So there's several different layers or levels of utilizing Facebook that we'll go into. All right, TJ, thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody that's on the replay, and we will be back to next week. And next week we are going to be loading in, and I'm going to give you videos on how to automate your importing and exporting of your lists into your Google Sheets. But you got to get that set up, and you got to start emailing out of your Google Gmail. And then next week, we're going to show you how to get your contacts out of Outlook, your iPhone, your other Gmail contacts, your other Gmail contacts, and your LinkedIn, and show you how to start going with GMass. Will we send a reminder email? A reminder email on the course, so for this webinar, you should get a reminder email with a link about 24 hours before the course goes out, about 5 hours before the course goes on, and about 15 minutes before the course goes on. So if you're not seeing those, look into your spam, and again, take that email and drag it into your address book and set an address book, and that will hopefully get it to your inbox. Yeah, and I'll bet you it should be in. I bet it's in your junk folder, one of your junk folders. And that's, again, you did look in the spam and it wasn't there. It is set up to go out every on that schedule. I got mine, so I know that they were going out, but I can find out. I can see, make sure that you're in there. If there's another email that is maybe easier to deliver, send me that email. Send me an email from that that email address, and I will change that. Sometimes some email platforms are much more friendly. I'll check mail.com spam folder. There, it's probably where it is. Probably where it is. All right. Thank you very much, you guys. I think it's quitting time, and have a great week, and just let me know if I can help you. All right. Have a good one.